Why are some of the world's most violent organizations called terrorists, while others aren't? The answer has less to do with how dangerous they are, and more to do with politics, law, and global strategy. Let's break it down. First, the word terrorist isn't just a label. It's a legal designation with massive consequences. Once a group is officially labeled as a foreign terrorist organization, the U.S. government gains special powers. It becomes easier to freeze their assets, prosecute anyone supporting them, track their movements, and authorize military action, even across borders. But here's the twist. There's no universal standard for what counts as terrorism. The U.S. government defines terrorism as premeditated, politically motivated violence, perpetrated against non-combatant targets by subnational groups, but that definition is flexible. Number 1. Political convenience plays a huge role. Governments are far more likely to label their enemies as terrorists while avoiding the term for groups they want to negotiate with or groups their allies support. Some armed factions in Syria were labeled terrorists. Others received U.S. weapons.
Mr. Roman, are you aware that we are sending $40 million a week to the Taliban?
Yes, sir.
Same battlefield, different labels. Number 2, international relationships matter. If the U.S. labels a group as terrorists, but that group has ties to a country America does business with, things get complicated fast. For example, calling Mexican drug cartels terrorists could strain relations with Mexico, lead to military escalation, and create legal obligations that the U.S. isn't ready to commit to. So instead, cartels stay classified as criminal organizations, even if their behavior includes terror-level violence. Number 3. Terror designations can trigger unintended consequences. The moment a group gets labeled as terrorists, anyone connected to them becomes a target. This can make diplomacy impossible. It can also give that group a legitimacy they didn't have before. A twisted sort of credibility that comes from being important enough to be on the global radar. Governments often hesitate to elevate lesser-known groups by giving them that attention. So, where does this leave us? It leaves us with a system where dangerous criminal groups like cartels, who murder thousands and destabilize entire nations, can avoid the terrorist label. While some smaller groups with political motives, but far less destructive power, get added to the list. It's not about fairness, it's about leverage. Sometimes labels are about power, not precision. That's why the cartels, despite their firepower, their intelligence networks, their armored vehicles, and their massive death tolls, still aren't officially terrorists. Because calling them that would force the U.S. to act like they are. And no administration has been ready to cross that line.